Okay. Think I'm out. I think everything is kind of lined up. Hello everyone. Welcome to my corner of the world. And welcome to 2024 and my first live of the year. So if you are out there, let me know. You can just make a little comment in the live chat box there on the right hand side. And I would love to know that you're there. Right, so today I was thinking stencils, and I'll tell you for why. Because the other evening my husband was watching some movie on the TV that didn't really interest me, and so I thought I would just spend a little bit of time going through YouTube, and for some reason YouTube kept throwing up stencil videos, and excuse me, it made me start to think, and so that's what I thought we would do and play with today. So you can buy ready-made stencils. These are ones that Stampin' Up do. They're called artistic mixed decorative ones, and you can see that there's sort of some shape blanks, and then there's this one I think will make a tartan or a plaid, depending on what part of the world you're in. And these can make their own separate designs, but you can actually layer them on top of one another to create a different design. Or you can make your own. And I have done videos where you make your own. So I've been using this die set quite a bit recently. It's called the Delightful Doilies set, and I used it for a live when I made a gift basket for chocolates just before Christmas, and I thought, well, let's use this open one as a die. So I've just got a piece of card. Now this is the backing card from the paper that that Stampin' Up sells. So I'm using, oh look, I got ink on my fingers. I'm using that to make my stencil. And all I've done is run it through the cotton emboss machine with this die. So there's the bit I cut out. So now I have a stencil, a very simple one, but nonetheless a stencil. So now I'm also going to use the Lovely and Sweet stamp set. Now today's Sunday, so was it the 4th? Was that Thursday? Wednesday or Thursday anyway. The new mini went live, so I'm able to show you inside. And then there's this gorgeous suite. Now I used this one, I think it was this one, in a live a few weeks ago. And I'm going to use this one today, and it does come with some coordinating dies, but I'm just going to use the stamp set today, although that's an interesting die there, we might perhaps use that. So you can see that this is literally brand new. I haven't even mounted any of the labels on the back. So that is what I'm going to do. And also, because of a new mini, we also have Celebration, which has started, which is an opportunity to get free stuff if you make a minimum purchase. And so one of the freebies is this ribbon, and you can get it free with a minimum purchase of $50 US. And so if you were to buy this bundle, or maybe the stamp set and the stencils, you would qualify for getting this free ribbon. And it's pool party, so naturally I chose pool party to use today. Right, so now we've got all of that info out the way, let us make a start. Now as with all of my lives, I work things out as we go along. I mean, I have a think, obviously, what I want to do, but I don't actually make a sample or work out how we're going to do things. That is all done while we're working live. So at the moment, I've got a piece of white card. This is 5 by 3 3/4, and I want to lay my handmade stencil down. So I think what I'm just going to do is I'm going to just line it up with the bottom of my silicone mat here, and I'm just going to line my stencil up. Now I'm going to try and get it as close to center as possible, like that. Now, to make sure that this doesn't move, I'm going to stick it down like that, and then I'm going to, oh, well, that didn't work very well, did it? Maybe that doesn't stick onto silicone very well. Okay. Well, that's a new thing for me to learn, isn't it? Okay. Right, so let's try again. And maybe my silicone mat has got too much sort of fingerprints on it. Let's see if that might be a bit more obliging. Oh yeah, that'll work. So then I'm going to just take some of this. You've seen me use it before. It's like a sticky note, a post-it note, but it's sticky all over. And I'm just going to catch the corners down, and hopefully by doing that it won't move when I'm working. Okay, so I can see that there's a few of you out there. Let me know where you're joining me from. Right, now let's bring that down. Right, so I'm going to start with my lightest colour, and I've pulled out Pool Party, Coastal Cabana, and somewhere I have the Highland Heather. So those are my colours, because I wanted to use the ribbon. So it was driven by this ribbon. And a lot of times my colour combos are driven by what's in my ribbon box or what's in the decorative paper. So my palest colour is going to be Pool Party, and I've got a blending brush. They come in large and small. I'm using this one because it happens to have been used on blue before, but I can just see I've got a large one that's been used, so maybe I'll use this one, the larger one. So I'm just going to pick up some ink on my brush. I'm going to start off and I'm going to add ink onto my piece of card like this. And I'm going to start gently and then maybe go a little heavier. And I think I'll kind of leave it in a bit paler in the center. So it has been, it's been 3 weeks. I missed 2 weeks because of Christmas and New Year. So I hope you all had a good holiday season. I spent the morning taking down my Christmas decorations. it's the worst job in the world. I hate it. I know I should have done it yesterday, but on Friday I had my second shingles shot, and it kind of laid me low yesterday. I did not feel up to doing anything. I could barely bring myself to eat, and I felt very sleepy all day. But I'm figuring that having had the shot is much better than getting the shingles. So I've had both of mine now, so I'm fully vaccinated, and hopefully that should protect me. Okay, so let's see what we've got. I'm going to just gently pick this up, and you can see that we've got, oh, it's quite nice there. I quite like that. Now, having said that, this bit over here isn't got quite such the definition that I hoped it would, so we're just going to go and add a little bit of extra ink there. Okay, any thoughts on that? Let me know what you think. Right, so now I'm going to do, I'm going to use one of these here. So I'm wondering whether or not to use the floral one, or maybe this one. This one is kind of a nice design. What do you think? I quite like that one. Right. Okay, so if I do this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip this underneath my handmade stencil, and I'll tell you for why. If I lay it on top of my handmade stencil, then there'll be a bit of a gap underneath, which might mean that some of the ink I'm going to add will scrooch underneath and go onto the white bit. So by sticking this underneath this stencil I'm going to be using is I'm rethinking the situation now. Okay, no, I'm going to go with it. So yeah, so now this is all level here, and this staying around the outside will protect the other white piece that I don't want to actually have inked up. I'm hoping that makes sense. Let me know in a comment if you think it does. Okay, I'm going to go, all right, so I wonder, I've got Highland Heather and I've got Coastal Cabana. I'm going to go with Coastal Cabana. Oh, hello, Sally. Oh, you're in Michigan. Well, I'm guessing the weather there is probably a bit on the chilly side. If it's chilly down here in Texas, I'm sure it's going to be chilly up there in Michigan. Thank you for joining us today. I truly appreciate it. It saves me from spending my Sunday talking to myself. Now then, I've no idea what this is going to look like, so I'm just putting it around the outside. Of course, I can't see now because it's, let's see. Well, it looked like this was going to be a good idea, but maybe we'll just take a little peek. Hold those down and just take a quick peek. Oh, oh, well, I hope you can see that. I can't pull it up to the camera because I'm frightened that I won't be able to get it lined up again. But I'm hoping that you can see that we've got a really lovely design around here. I wonder if it's worth just putting, oh, I've moved it now. I wonder if it's worth just putting a little bit in the centre. Just take a bit of that white out of the centre. Unseasonably high, low 30s today. Oh, well, I guess we need to take the breaks when we can. Oh, right, so how do you think about that? I'm quite impressed with that. So we've got the paler pool party in the crossy bits, and then the other colour here. Now, with my stencils, I either wipe them off with a cloth dampened with a bit of Stampin' Mist, and I've got this thoroughly disreputable cloth here that I have handy, and I can just take my ink off like this, and that's ready to go back in the bag. Okay, so now that we've done that, I want to do something more. I want to do something more with it. And I bet you I've got this all unlined now. Yeah, I have. But it'd be easy to line it up. There we go. Now, I shared with you, oh, I can't remember, back in November, the pearlized enamel effect. And there's two lots. There's one that is silver, gold and copper, and then there's another set that's white, black, and I think it's red. And you can use them to make pearls, but I wondered about doing a little bit of something with the white one on here. Oh, isn't that pretty? That is just so, so, so pretty. And you see, just, oh, just love that. It's just, right. So I've got some, here they are. I've got some sponge daubers here. And if I pull some of this down a bit, because I don't want it to be too thick, and maybe this one is well, you can line it up, but I'm not going to necessarily line it up. I am going to just do some little, I'm not sure that you'll be able to see it. I just thought that I could put some of this to give it a bit of a sheen. Maybe, I'm not sure if you can see that, because I can hardly see it myself. Okay, let's just put a bit more on. When I pick this up in a minute, I'm sure we'll be able to see the sheen, because it will catch the light. Let's put another one over here and just see how it works. Okay. Well, you get the idea about stencils. They're fun to use and you can make them yourself. All right. So let me lift this up and pick this up. And maybe if I swirl it around the light a little bit, you'll be able to see. It's not much of an effect, but it's not too bad. There, okay. Right, so let me clear the decks a little bit. I can't hardly move the stuff now. And I'm going to set that to one side to dry for a few moments. And I'm going to load up my... Ooh, now then. So we've got some lovely floral stamps, and this one does, these ones have dies that you can cut them out. But there's this one that's kind of a little hash, bit like sort of hop sack or something. I like that one. Because it's close to the idea of the dotty stamps that if you follow me, you know I love a stamp that's got dots on it. Right. So I'm just going to quickly, while that dries, just load this up. So, like that. Then just get one of these tools, lift those bits off, lift that bit up, and then I'm taking the backing off of this one, laying it face down, and then I can line up the outline. Ooh, don't you dare move off. Oh, the little monkey, it's just dropping off. Can just line up the outline of the label with the outline of my stamp. There we go. And then that's nicely adhered. Right. I thought that I could use that like that. I don't know what anybody thinks. If you've got any thoughts, comments on that, but I wondered whether or not I could use that as like a silhouette. So I've got some black ink here. And because this is a new stamp, I'm just going to stamp off one time, because sometimes there's a little bit of machine residue left on them. And just by stamping them off one time, it will work. It just takes it off. And because this stamp is bigger than my ink pad, I find it much easier to put it on like this rather than to try and guess where I've been with the ink, the more traditional way of. Now this would be a great stamp if you're into colouring. I love colouring. I'm not terribly good at it, but I like to colour, and so I think this one would make a great stamp for colouring. And let's make sure, give it a few minutes for the ink to transfer. So please, please work, because otherwise all my other hard work. Oh, Wow. I do like that. Anybody else got some thoughts? Who else likes that? I like that very much. I'm not entirely sure now where I'm going to put my greeting. Now, I did get some card bases done, and I wondered whether, so this is just 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, and I did wonder about that. I know I didn't use any purple ink, but it doesn't really matter. I've got a bit of black on there. What is that? Oh, foo. I've got some black ink on it. Right, well, we'll have to find something. It'll have to be a rhinestone to cover that. Fancy getting a lump with? That black must have come from that pad. Okay. Now, we've got a greeting. We just need a greeting. Just sending a bit of love your way. Well, it's coming up to well, it'll be Valentine's next month. So maybe I could put that. I'm sure that will fit into this. Oh, look, there's a little tab. Oh, that'd be interesting. I wonder if that would fit into there. Okay, that would fit into there. All right, let's have a think. Let us have a think. Should we layer it, stamp it and layer it onto some Highland Heather, or onto, I'm just looking for a scrap of, here we go. Don't ask me why I've got a triangular shape of scrap in my stash. I can't help you on that one. I must have done something one time. Or that. So because it takes a few moments, if you've got any thoughts, it takes a few moments for them to come through. So if you have an opinion, perhaps you'll let me know whether we should use Highland Heather or Pool Party. And while I wait for those thoughts to come through, I will just load up my greeting with the label. And we'll make sure it's the right way up. So love that way, okay. Turn it over. There we go, all lined up. Go for it. Right, let's do, I'm just gonna cut these out. I won't bring my cut and emboss machine onto because it takes up too much room. So, oh, that's going to be too big, isn't it? Maybe it could go across there. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Sally. Right. Yes. Yes, like this, Sally? Or yes, like that? Or maybe up here, cover my boo-boo. Yeah, I don't know why I always want to put it down the bottom, actually, because it goes like that, doesn't it? As much as I like this, it's not going to work, is it? I don't think it's going to work. I think what I could do is to just stamp it across that empty corner, like that. I think that's all I feel comfortable doing. Let's see, what shall I do? I got this lovely ribbon that inspired me today. Maybe we could pop it across that corner. Or maybe we could pop it across that corner. I'm struggling now. Because after all my hard work with my stenciling, I don't really want to lose it, much of it. We could put a little bit of ribbon. Let's go for it, as Sally said. Let's just go for it. I tell you what, if I pop it on here, it will give it more stability. Well, I don't think using those enamel effects actually gave us much. I've got a little bit, but it's not as effective as I thought it would be. Maybe the silver one would have been better, but too late to worry about that now. Now I always, when I've got ribbon on my card, I always pop my layer up on Stampin' Dimensionals, and then that way it takes the bulk out of the, you're not trying to lay this flat against your card. So let's see how that looks now. We've got okay. All right, let's try something now. I'm beginning to think I'm not even going to put I'm beginning to think I'm not even going to put a greeting on this. Cover, right. But I've just realised that there's one that says "so sorry." I wonder if we could just do "so sorry." It's a bit late now because, no, I'm not going to go there. I'm going to leave it as it is. and cover up my big boo-boo there with a rhinestone, and I'll put another one down here to fill the gap, and then I'm going to put one in each of these flowers. Now I did think about using this enamel pearls to make some pearls in there, but it takes a while to dry. And I'm thinking that's okay. I think I'm quite happy with that. We need a piece on the inside. So I've got my piece of scrap paper, and I'm going to, what did I do with my stamp? I'm going to just do those leaves. I'm not going to need much of this. Pop that there like that. Oh, for goodness sake, I've managed to get, look, I've managed to get a fingerprint, inky fingerprint on there. It's because I haven't done much card making since before Christmas. I'm out of practice. There. Let's just get rid of my inky fingers before I have any more catastrophes. And as always, we've got to have an envelope. No good a card without an envelope. And I would just put this into any occasion category, because this would work if you wanted a birthday card. It would work for thinking of you, sympathy. I mean, just any occasion would work for this particular card, because it's kind of got no greeting in it, and you can always write your full message inside. So you know, you could always write wishing you a happy birthday, or sorry for your loss, or thinking of you at this difficult time. So I think leaving it without any greeting is probably a good way to go. Okay, there we are. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this little expedition while we designed this card, and also while we worked through stenciling, making your own stencils like this, or maybe using purchased ones like these ones from Stampin' Up. So that is our project for today. I want to thank you very, very much for joining me while we did this. If you've enjoyed the video, perhaps you'll go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you don't already subscribe, perhaps you'll go ahead and do that, as well as share my video on my channel as well. And I will look forward to seeing you next week, where at the same time, 1 o'clock Central, where we'll look at some more products from the new mini and create something from scratch again. Well, thank you for spending some time with me. I'll look forward to seeing you next week. Bye bye for now.